That new gamma really helped, huh? Yeah, what a difference. And the efficiency, so you were commenting too on how cool it runs. I was listening while I was scrolling around, and that has a lot to do with the efficiency of no reflection. Yeah, it really is. How about those instructions, though? Did you just make an airplane out of it and throw it? Well, what I had noticed is the bracket mounting points don't have anything to do with where you end up, not even close. Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm referring to. Same thing here. If you went by the instructions, you were on the skinny part, and then you had to come back to the fat part to actually make it tuned for where we're at. Right. What meter did you use? Copy. Yeah, we used an analyzer. I used the entire length of coax with it to tune it with the coax and 1.0. And as I got it all hooked up and in line with my Autech meter and switcher and everything, it's right now it's 1.23. Wow, that's spot on. Right. So what's the reason for running vertical? Right. So here's an interesting thing. I've talked to a ham radio operator, Dave, 61 in Oklahoma City for 20 years, and when he heard my beam in compared to a lot of the beams on the West Coast, he went to it. But he has built, 55-foot boom, 10-element cubicle quad beams before that I've listened to, and the signal was just like nothing you can explain. I mean, the drive is just an incredible circular polarization pattern. But anyway, he went to a 7. That one took an ice storm and collapsed, but so he put a 7 up like this one, but he runs it vertical, and he's got a metal building below it, and it has distorted the signal pretty bad in the vertical, so he's going to build a 7, use this material, and make a 7 cubicle quad out of the 7, and so it'll be interesting. That's what his project is now, but he runs his vertical as well for local use. It's kind of what they originally designed for. Right. No, that's true, and I'm familiar with that. They're even with the 05 Colossal is a fantastic antenna. I was going to buy one. My neighbor had one half a mile away from me. He had it up. I've been listening to the people come back to him, and originally when they first started manufacturing them and putting them out there, I wanted one. Anyway, so long story short, I've heard days where my ground plane receives signals, but not as often as you might think. I would have to honestly say, out of a scale, maybe 8, 9 times out of 10, your flat is going to receive and better than my ground. But that's different with a beam on a vertical, because it's going to, it's not really a good comparison for a ground plane versus a beam vertical. Right, and so you're just, to flip it to flat, or? Oh, I see what you're talking about. So with your 5, what changes are you going to order from Tom? Oh, okay, like the shooting star. Yeah, okay, that's a great idea. Yeah, that's a fantastic setup. Right. The only thing I've noticed with this 7 in all these years, compared to all the other beams I've used, is that you can point it. If there's just a few stations in there and you directly point it at somebody, or I do, I have to kick it off to an angle a little bit. Right. The caddy corner. But so what I was going to say is, ever since I put this larger gamma on there, that's gone away. No, well, yeah, that's something I've noticed. That's just how they work. There's more rejection off of a corner, whether it be the far left corner or the rear corner, than there is the back. Right, because it's not horizontal, it's vertical, so you're going to have, if you were flat, if you looked at it that way on a flat plane, you would have 2 corners, you'd have 4 corners, the front, left and right, and the rear, left and right, and where it's flat, I would imagine that throwing a vertical signal out, that you would only have the sides. Right. No, yeah, that's your application for your area. Wow. And what's amazing about it is how broadbanded. I never ran one before, and man, I just can't get over how broadbanded they are. It's just incredible. Right. A lot of the guys do here. There's a lot of radio operators right in my area. I mean, tonight there's a group that checks in on Saturday night, and there's 50 radio operators in my vicinity. So there's times where, I just have to sit and look like that. Right. It's fantastic. The only thing that my biggest thing is like during skip, if they have a round table or local talk and skip's running, I don't want to key up over them, and so it's a tough deal. Every night. They don't understand. They don't know what the beam work's all about. I mean, backscatter. That's what I love. I love working backscatter. Right. When Australia's in there every night, I can hear everybody up and down the west coast, down to California and up to Canada. And this is a really new thing, too, Homer. First time. I've been using a beam a long time, but I've been hearing backscatter with guys running A99s and ground planes. One in Canada is running an A99, and I'm hearing the backscatter through or overlap in Australia. Yeah, it is shocking. If I point it anywhere else, he goes away. Exactly. Yeah, I'm the same way. I really listen for that, so that's why that makes that a little frustrating in the evening time when I try to, I can hear stations and they don't have a clue what's going on.